Death of a Naturalist is a poem about how we all were born nature lovers, but slowly that love of nature, how it deteriorates within us. So let us begin uh, this poem line by line. All year the flax dam festered in the heart of downland. So the first line means that this is a normal uh, business in those days when this poem was written in our land, that flax uh, is a kind of plant. It's a plant uh, which is kept in the water so that it becomes a fabric and can be used as a cloth. So here the poet is talking about that pura saal, all the year, there was a dam, and there was a pool, and in that pool there was a flax. So what is flax? It's a kind of crop, okay, which is used for food and it is also used for fabric. So पूरा साल एक छोटा सा पूल में एक क्रॉप को सड़ाया जाता है. The first line means all through the year there is a dam, there is a water dam जैसे होता है वैसे एक डैम पूल वाटर का पूल है जहाँ फ्लैक्स मतलब एक क्रॉप को फेस्टेड किया जाता है. फेस्टेड मतलब उसको सड़ाया जाता है, रॉटेड किया जाता है, फर्मेंटेड किया जाता है. कहाँ? इन द हार्ट ऑफ द टाउनलैंड. टाउनलैंड मीन्स इट अ काइंड ऑफ फॉर्म, मतलब एक काइंड ऑफ फॉर्म फार्मर जहाँ फार्मिंग करता है. सो ऑल थ्रू द ईयर क्या होता है आयरलैंड के एक जगह में, from where the poet is talking about, the place the poet is talking about, all the year there is a plant called flax, which is fermented, which is rotted. कोई चीज सड़ा के बनता है, जैसे शराब, जैसे और बहुत सारी चीजें, okay, जैसे something is used in making some medicine. So many things which are fermented, okay. Some of the foods are fermented and baked. So all through the year there is something called flax, FLX. It's a crop. It is kept in a dam, in a pool, which is festered. Festered मतलब जो उसको सड़ाया जाता है कहाँ? In the heart of a farmland, in the heart of a farming place. So पहला लाइन का डिस्क्रिप्शन है कि पूरे साल एक छोटा सा पूल होता है, छोटे छोटे बहुत सारे पूले होती हैं और इस पूल में एक क्रॉप जिसका नाम है फ्लेक्स, उसको सड़ाया जाता है. वो बहुत सारी चीजों में काम आता है. इट कैन यूज एज अ फूड, इट इज यूज फॉर फैब्रिक एंड सो मेनी थिंग्स. So the whole poem is about the dam in which the flax is fermented. So this is the setting of the poem. So the first line means that there is a small pond, we can say in Indian context. In that pond, in that pool, there is a crop called flax जिसको ferment किया जाता है, सड़ाया जाता है, जो कि कुछ फूड में काम आता है, उससे कुछ फैब्रिक बनती है. Green and heavy-headed flax had rotted there. So ग्रीन कलर के हेवी हेडेड अजीबो गरीब कलर के फ्लैग्स जो है वहाँ रॉटेड होता है. मतलब कि दिस इज अ प्लेस वेयर दिस क्रॉप कॉल्ड फ्लैक्स इज ग्रीन कलर एंड सम अदर हेवी हेडेड कलर, दे आर रॉटेड. दे रॉटेड मतलब सड़ाया जाता है. वेट डाउन बाय ह्यूज सॉर्ट, मतलब यहाँ जहाँ फ्लेक्स होता है वहाँ इट इज वेट डाउन, चारों तरफ बहुत ह्यूज सॉर्ट होता है. सॉर्ट एक्चुअली मतलब होता है मिट्टी. एक्चुअली हियर द पोएट इज टॉकिंग अबाउट समथिंग एल्स. मतलब चारों तरफ मिट्टी उट्टी रहता है और उस मिट्टी में ये फ्लेक्स जो है रॉटेड होता है. डेली इट इज sweltered in the punishing sun. So here sun is used as personification, के पानी में वो फ्लैक्स सड़ते रहता है और उसको स्वेल्टेड किया जाता है, मतलब उसको बहुत अनकंफर्टेबल फीलिंग होता है. हियर इट इज द सन इज यूज्ड एज a human being as a personification, and this flex is also used as a human being, I mean personification. तो सूरज जो है ऐसा लगता है, the sun is called as a punishing sun. So what is sun punishing? The sun is punishing the flex that is in the water, and it is punishing in such a powerful way that this plant called flex is feeling so uncomfortable. It's sweltering. It's उसके पसीने आ रहे हैं, बहुत गर्मी लग रहा है. So first line means that पूरा साल जो है डैम्प में, पूल में फ्लेक्स नामी एक प्लांट को सड़ाया जाता है. कहाँ? एक फार्म लैंड. डाउनलैंड मतलब फार्म. ये ग्रीन कलर का होता है, ये हेवी हेडेड बहुत कलर का होता है, वहां वो सड़ते रहते हैं. पहले ग्रीन होता है, धीरे धीरे कलर चेंज होता है. एंड इट इज वेट डाउन, चारों तरफ और दब गया मिट्टी कादा से. डेली, हर दिन क्या होता है, द सन कम्स एंड सन रेज गोज इनटू द वाटर एंड इट मेक्स द क्रॉप फील वेरी 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 अनकंफर्टेबल बिकॉज ऑफ द सन रेज. बबल गार्बल डेलिकेटली, और यहाँ ऐसा लगता है पानी का बुलबुला जो है ना, वो सूरज का रोशनी, द सनलाइट व्हेन इट फॉल्स, द सनलाइट व्हेन इट फॉल्स ऑन द पॉन्ड और डैम और पूल, वहां का वाटर ना इवापोरेट होता है, बबल होता है, ऐसा लगता है को गार्गल कर रहा है. दिस इज कॉल्ड गार्गलिंग. सो द वाटर इन द पॉन्ड seems to gargle. So gargle is a sound produced by bubble. So उसमें मट्टी है, कादा है, सूरज का रोशनी से बुलबुली बुलबुली डेलिकेट, मतलब बहुत छोटे छोटे बुलबुले होते रहते. So fifth line means that there is a lot of bubble formed in that dam where there is this crop called flex. Blue bottle, weave, वो is a past tense. अच्छा, blue bottle is a name of a fly जो ब्लू कलर की होती है. तो उसी में कादा में, पानी में, सॉर्ड में, उसके अंदर फ्लेट से ऊपर में वेट डाउन विथ ह्यूज सॉर्ड मींस दैट, उसी में there are blue bottles, there are blue color flies weaving a strong gauze when a network of sound and smell. So ये चारों तरफ जो है ये ब्लू कलर के इंसेक्ट माने फ्लाइज चारों तरफ भिन्न भिन्न आवाज करते हैं और उनसे अजीब सा महक आता है. Here the author is saying smell. He's not saying order. So till this, you will see the poem is divided into two parts. One, where the poet or the narrator, the boy, it seems like, is in love with nature. So the word that he's using is gargling, smell. He's not saying order. He's not saying badbu. He's saying khushbu. So for him, the aspects with which he looks at nature is very positive, or at least neutral. He is not yet trained to say this is in the binaries of yache, gande, this is good, this is bad. So the author, the poet, the narrator, small boy, is saying that there are bubbles and the bubble creates a sound of gargling, and there are blue color flies called blue bottles. They weave a network. So इस लाइन का मतलब है कि चारों तरफ ब्लू कलर के फ्लाइज घूमते रहते हैं, उनसे अजीबो गरीब आवाज होता है और उनसे खुशबू निकलता है. There are dragonflies. Then there are dragonflies. This is the name of a insect. Then there are spotted butterflies. So these are the things that a poet or a narrator or a naturalist or a child who is always a naturalist loves. The kids loves dragonflies, butterflies, blue flies, blue bottle called blue color flies, and they love to play in the mud, so on and so forth. But best of them, so narrator is saying that he has seen many things. Narrator is saying that he has seen in that dam where the flex is festering, where it is rotting, there are lots of sod and dirt, and the sunlight is coming, and the waters are gargling, and there are blue color flies all around. There are dragonflies, there are spotted butterflies, but best of them, सबसे अच्छा क्या है, बच्चे को क्या लगता है, the thick slobbler. Here he is talking about slobbler. He is talking about on the surface of the water there are eggs of the frog. So he is saying कि सबसे अच्छा butterfly से अच्छा, dragonfly से अच्छा, blue bottle से अच्छा, gargling sound of the water से अच्छा, सबसे अच्छा इस बच्चे को क्या लगता है, the best thing that this child loves is the slobber. Slobber is the eggs of a frog. Of frog's spawn means frog's egg that grew like clotted water. So it's a simile. It's a simile where the egg on the water is compared to water which is clogged. जैसे चारों तरफ मडी वाटर रहता है, क्लॉग्ड वाटर, that is compared to the egg of the frog on the surface of the water body. In the shades of the bank, means जहाँ अंधेरा थोड़ा होता है, shady area होता है, वहाँ frog में बहुत सारे, the frog has laid a lot of eggs. Here every spring, means every spring season, outfield jam pots, means empty jar of the jellied speck. Here jellied speck, jelly refers to jelly जैसा, और speck मतलब dotted refers to, in this case, the eggs of the frog. So author is saying कि हर spring में मैं क्या करता था, मैं एक jar लेके जाता था, jam spot means empty jar, and in that empty jar used to feel a jellied speck. jelly जैसा कुछ speck होता था, ये actually frog का अंडा होता है. So author is saying कि जो डैम था वो बहुत ही क्लॉग्ड वाटर जैसा था, क्योंकि उसके सरफेस पे बहुत सारे डर्ट थे, बहुत सारे एग ने, मतलब फ्रॉग ने अंडा दिया था. So author is saying every year spring में used to fill his bottle, okay, jam bottle, बड़ा बड़ा बॉटल को भर लेता था. किससे? jellied speck से. jellied speck मतलब यहाँ in this case jelly speck means it is the egg of the frog, and he keeps on the windowsill. Windowsill मतलब छज्जा, the extended part of the window where people normally in India keep all those achar, Indian mothers keep achar and so many other things. उसको बोलते हैं sill. Sill means the extended portion of the window. So window में narrator क्या करता है, अपने जार में फ्रॉग का अंडा को भर देता है. जैसे इंडिया में छोटे छोटे बच्चे छोटे छोटे फिश को लाके अपने बॉटल में रखते हैं, वैसे sometime on shelf and school, so you should take it and keep it on the shelf at school and wait and watch till the flattening dot burst into a nimble swimming cat. So you used to keep them in the water and used to watch के अब इस एक से कब जो है एक टूट के, फ्रॉग का एक जो है टूट के कब इसमें से बच्चे फ्रॉग मैंने टैडपोल निकलेंगे. So it used to become fat dots first. मैंने fat मैंने मोटा, डॉट मैंने वो जो फ्रॉग का अंडा था डॉट, लेकिन मोटा मोटा जाता था, because the now it's time for the egg to hatch. So the dots which is referred to as the frog egg, वो फ्लैटनिंग वो धीरे धीरे बस्ट होता है और फिर वो बहुत फास्ट पानी में टैडपोल तैरने लगता है. So here the narrator is talking about his love for nature, that apparently frog looks so ugly, but to a child who is yet not taught the binaries of ugly and beauty, and this is right, this is good, this is bad, this is ugly, he looks everything as if he loves everything in nature. So he fills his jam box khali with lots of jellied speck, with lots of frog egg, and he keeps it on the window either in school or in home, and then he keeps on watching it till this egg, which is called as flattening dots burst. फिर वो अंडा हैच हो जाता है और उससे बहुत जल्दी फास्ट क्या निकलते हैं, छोटे छोटे टैडपोल. Now the author is here bit changing the subject and he's talking about his lessons in school. So there was probably a biology teacher whose name is Miss Wales, who would teach the boys, how the daddy frog was called as bullfrog. So इन लोगों की बायोलॉजी टीचर ने पढ़ाया था कि एक पापा फ्रॉग होता है, डैडी फ्रॉग, और एक मम्मी फ्रॉग होती है, और फिर वो मम्मी फ्रॉग बहुत सारे अंडे देती है. So there is a daddy frog called bullfrog, and then he croaked and shouted, and how the mummy frog, she lays, मतलब वो अंडा देती है, बहुत सौ अंडा देती है, और वो अंडे से निकलते हैं फ्रॉग स्पाइन, मतलब फ्रॉग के छोटे छोटे अंडे होते हैं, उससे टैडपोल निकलते हैं. So here the author, the narrator, is talking about how he learns about frog. तो अपने स्कूल के टीचर से उसने सुना था कि एक डैडी फ्रॉग होती है, मम्मी फ्रॉग होती है, और वो डैडी फ्रॉग चिल्लाता है, फिर मम्मी फ्रॉग जो है बहुत सा, मतलब the teacher cannot teach all those complicated biological reproductive system to a kid. So probably this is what the teacher taught, that there's a daddy frog, there's a mummy frog, and then there is lots of egg laid by the mother frog. You can tell whether by the frog too, for they are yellow in the sun and brown in the rain. The author is saying, according to the narrator, कि frog को देख के मौसम बताया जा सकता है, because you can tell the weather by frog. For they are yellow in the sun. जब धूप निकलता है तो ये येलो कलर के होते हैं और ये ब्राउन हो जाते हैं जब रेन होता है. So the first stanza is talking about how close this child was to nature. He loved everything, including frog, and which apparently looks so ugly, and he even loved frog eggs. He even loved dam, which is so rotten. He even loved, huge sod, dirt. He even loved, going into that dirt. He even loved sweltering, जहाँ पसीना निकलता है so धूप. He even loved, gargling, बुलबुला निकल रहा है, उसको उससे भी प्यार था. उसको ब्लू बॉटल फ्लाइज से प्यार था, उसको ड्रैगन फ्लाइज से प्यार था, उसको बटरफ्लाई से प्यार था, उसको फ्रॉग के अंडों से, फ्रॉग स्पैन से प्यार था, उसको जो कि एकदम क्लॉटेड गंदा वाटर जैसा लगता था. and used to feel that frog's egg, frog span into his jar, is to keep in, if he used to go to school, he used to take it to school, he used to keep it in the house, and when the days was appropriate, from that frog span, from that egg of the frog, suddenly, nimbly book में लिखा है, suddenly छोटे छोटे टैडपॉल मैंने फ्रॉग के बच्चे निकल आते थे. और उसके बायोलॉजी टीचर ने, स्कूल के टीचर ने बताया था कि एक डैडी फ्रॉग होती है, एक मम्मी फ्रॉग होती है, फिर मम्मी फ्रॉग बहुत सारा अंडा देती है. और this is how she taught about frogs and many things related to natural life, biology. So narrator is saying कि फ्रॉग को देख के ये भी बताया जा सकता है कि फ्रॉग जो है कौन अभी सनराइज है कि अभी कौन सा रेनी सीजन. Now the next stanza talks about the same narrator, the same child who's grown up. Of course, the dam has not changed, the flax has not changed, the bubbling water, the dragonflies, the blue bottle, nothing has changed. What has changed is the approach of this boy towards nature. Now he looks at nature with disdain, with a kind of hatred, with a kind of looking down upon. And he has got those binaries ki gande hai aur main acha hu, and as a good boy I should not put my hand into this dirty water, should not play with mud, and should not put those frog's egg into my bottle. So this boy is now an adult, it seems like that. And every adult is a deteriorated child, and every adult is a deteriorated child. Every adult, I mean almost every adult, if not every, almost every rather, who is safe in the statement, I shouldn't make a blanket statement, almost every adult is a deteriorated child, because few people never grow, they become scientists. So here, this stanza talks about the death of the naturalist. This is why the poem is called Death of Naturalist. Now he has lost touch with nature. Now he doesn't know how to be in communion with nature. He doesn't know how to communicate with the elements of nature. So that string that connected him with the frog and frog's egg is now snapped. And it happens with most people. And I mean, most people, until somebody is like a celebrated scientist of NASA or like zoologist or a botanist all through his life. Then one day actually happens after a lot of days, because the attitude of the narrator has changed. When fields were ranked with cow dung, so एक दिन field में cow dung थे. तो see, cow dung हमेशा से ही गंदे थे. लेकिन जब छोटा बच्चा बड़ा हो जाता है, when a child grows up, he looks at cow dung with a certain sense of disdain, hatred, looking down upon. In the grass, and there are angry frogs invaded in the frog's tank. So he's saying that one day when the fields were ranked with cow dung, एक दिन बहुत दिन बाद fields में चारों तरफ cow dung थे, Okay, or angry frogs invaded the fog. So he's now this same frogs, this same frog, जिससे narrator को इतना प्यार था, now narrator is using all negative words for them, all words filled with certain sense of hate, certain sense of meanness towards them. So he's saying they invaded the fog stand. So this dam, मतलब जो pool है, which is made for flags, so that वो flags जो crop है वो grow हो और उससे कपड़े बने और बहुत सारे काम आते. So it is not actually made for the frogs. So they are actually invading it. Invading is a word used for conquerors when they conquer a kingdom. So here frog जो आके आए हैं इस dam में, actually they are not invited. So they are invading. But the question is, this word invading was not used when the child was really filled with innocence. Now this child is grown up. Now he's using all this historical word or word related to history. Invaded. So frog ने अब dam को invade किया. I dug through the hedges to a coarse croaking that I had not heard before. So narrator is saying that I ducked. Ducked is a word used where you try to save yourself from any attack that comes. So narrator moved through the hedges, means plants, to the croaking, coarse croaking. Now the narrator is not enjoying the frog. He's calling the croaking, the sound of the frog, as coarse, as rough, as very inferior, as very, irritating. That I had not heard before, saying I have not heard this sound before. The air was thick with the air एकदम dense था, भरा हुआ था. किस कैसा sound से? एक bass. Bass here means the lowest pitch of the sound. It's a very rough, irritating kind of chorus of frog. Frog sounds does not, appear good to most people. And they neither look good to most people. But we're talking about the few people who actually were connected with nature, but because of society, because of programming, because of societal binaries, because of right and wrong, and because of so many differentiation, they slowly get disconnected, and then they have a lens through which they define beauty, then they have a lens through which they define ugliness. So now the narrator suddenly, not suddenly, probably after many years, has found this croaking of the frog as coarse as bass, just an irritating sound lag raha narrator ko, and he's trying to duck away from the frog. पहले यही फ्रॉग उसके जैम के जार में होते थे, स्कूल में और घर में भी साथ में होते थे, दिन रात उसको देखते रहता था, जिंदगी थी उसकी. And the same child, when he's grown up, he is calling the sound of the frog as bass, as coarse. There was thick with this sound, right down the dam, glass-bellied frog cocked on the sod. So narrator is saying, जहां इतने डैम में क्रॉस मतलब चीप बेलीड फ्रॉग ने एक्सपेंडेड फ्रॉग, मुटका मुटका फ्रॉग था लोग, अब ये फ्रॉग से बड़ा हो गया है. They were cocked on sod. Sod माने मिट्टी, cock मतलब होता है to raise the head. मतलब ये frogs लोग जो है मुट्टू हो गया, बड़ा हो गया है, पहले छोटू छोटू था. Now these frogs have grown up, and now these frogs are cocking up. Cock मतलब होता है मुंडी उठा के, and sod मतलब होता है मिट्टी, मिट्टी के टुकड़े पे ये frogs लोग खड़ा है. And they lose neck like snails, pulse like snail. उनका neck जो है snail लोग जैसा ऐसा मुंडी सामने है. So narrator is going to the dam after a long time, and he finds that the frog are invading. Invading matlab illegal entry into the dam. White Flats Dam, Croppola Dam. The narrator is somehow walking into the place, and he finds this sound very cheap, very coarse, very bass. And जो frogs लोग हैं अपना मुंडी उठा के सॉड से, वैसे सॉड है उसके ऊपर, सॉड मैंने मिट्टी का टुकड़ा, इसके ऊपर ऐसे मुंडी करके, जैसे स्नेल्स लोग का मुंडी होता है, वो लोग नैरेटर को देख रहे. सम हॉप मैंने कुछ लोग जो है जैसे हॉपिंग कर रहे थे, जंप कर रहे थे, कुछ स्लैप एंड फ्लॉप कर रहे थे. इट्स अ डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ साउंड मेड बाय द फ्रॉग्स. तो कोई चिल्ला रहा था फ्रॉग, एंड इट इज कॉल्ड अकॉर्डिंग टू द नरेटर एन ऑब्सीन थ्रेट. ऑब्सीन मतलब एक घिनौना, नीच, गंदा. थ्रेट मतलब धमकी. सो नरेटर इज कॉलिंग using the word threat of the sound of the frog. And he is also calling the word obscene. He is using the word coarse. He was using the word as gross. These all words proves that the naturalist in him is dead. यही वो डैम था जिसके लिए वो अपना बचपना गुजारा था. यही वो फ्रॉक्स फैन थे जिसको वो डैम मतलब इसी गंदे मतलब कीचड़ से निकाल के अपने जार में रखता था. Now he's using the word gross, neat, coarse, bass. Now he's using the word slap and flop and obscene and threat. क्या फ्रॉग बदल गए? नहीं नहीं, फ्रॉग वैसे ही है. क्या ये डैम बदल गया? नहीं नहीं, डैम वैसे ही है. क्या यहाँ का बदबू बदल गया या पहले खुशबू था? नहीं, जैसे था वैसे ही है. बदला कौन? बदला देखने वाला. The scene has not changed. The sight has changed. The attitude with which he was looking has changed. नजारे नहीं बदले, नजरिए बदल गए. नजारे तो वैसे ही है. फ्रॉग, डैम, फ्लेक्स, अगली, बदबू. सो नजारे नहीं बदले, नजरिए बदल गए हैं. और इस नजरिए से अब ये फ्रॉग हो चुके हैं ऑब्सीन. इस नजरिए से अब ये हो गए हैं स्लैप एंड फ्लॉप. इस नजरिए से अब हो गए हैं वो बिलाइड मैंने मुटकू मुटकू. इस नजरिए से हो गए हैं पोर्स एंड ग्रॉस. सम सैट पॉइज्ड लाइक ए मड ग्रेनेड. मैंने ऑथर इज सेइंग कि कुछ लोग एकदम मर्ड के ऊपर ऐसे बैठे जैसे बॉम्ब जैसा, कोई बॉम्ब फट जाए. सो नरेटर इज कंपेयरिंग apparently innocent frog with grenade. Grenade is a bomb that is used in war. So narrator is comparing frog with grenade. Some of them are poised, मैंने बैलेंस करके वो लोग मर्ड पे बैठा है, ऐसा लग रहा कोई बॉम्ब है. एंड द ब्लंट हेड फार्टिंग. एंड उनके मतलब हेड से कुछ आवाज, अजीब व गरीब आवाज निकल रहा है. उनके सॉफ्ट हेड से अजीब व गरीब आवाज निकल रहा है. बैंग मैंने फ्रॉग लोग के मुंह से ऐसे सब आवाज निकलता है. नरेटर इज नाउ फीलिंग सिक. इसको अजीब सा गंदा लग रहा है. ही टर्न्ड अराउंड एंड ran. सो नरेटर इज नाउ ग्रोन अप. नरेटर इज सेइंग कि इनको अजीब लग रहा था, वहां से टर्न्ड अप हो गए और भाग गए. द ग्रेट स्लाइम किंग. हियर द ऑथर इज स्लाइम मतलब कादा, किंग मतलब बादशाह. So here the frogs are called as a slime king, metaphorically. So author is saying कि इस गंदे कीचड़ के बादशाह frog were gathered there for vengeance. So author actually, when he was a child, he has taken the eggs of the frog and he has kept it in his jar, in his school, in his house, everywhere he went. So now he has come back there when these frogs are grown up. They are all big, big frogs. Now they are waiting for him with vengeance. Okay, you have taken our eggs. Now if you put your hand into this water, we will catch your hand. So narrator is saying ये सब बादशाह लोग, ये सब बदमाश राजा लोग, गुंडा लोग, मतलब he is using with the sense of that they are dominating, they are invading, they are gunda, they are mafia of this nali, mafia of this slime, mafia of this dam, this pool. So these great kings, बादशाह लोग, कौन बादशाह लोग, had gathered there. वो लोग यहाँ खड़े क्यों? For vengeance. Vengeance माने बदला, revenge के लिए. And I knew that if I dipped my hand and my hand, the spawn माने frog would catch it. Narrator says कि अगर मैं गलती से भी हाथ उस कादे में लगाऊं तो अब ये मेरा हाथ को लोग काट लेंगे, पकड़ लेंगे, टानेंगे, हार्म करेंगे. Now the same innocent frog has become so threatening, is filled with revenge. I don't think so that frogs are filled with revenge. It is the nature of the child which imagines, or the child who's grown up now, a bit grown up, he imagines that they will take revenge. So narrator is saying that now he is watching those frogs after a lot of time, and their necks are like snails, and some of them, are making different vulgar sound, and they're threatening the narrator. Some of them are sitting like a bomb. ऐसा लग रहा बॉम्ब फट जाएगा. और उनके माथे से अजीब वगैरह ऐसे ऐसे वो करते रहते हैं, अजीब व गरीब आवाज निकल रहा. और इस फीलिंग हमको अजीब सा गंदा लग रहा है. narrator is saying the great slime king gathered there for vengeance. So he's saying all the kings of this area, पौंड के The frog लोग आए हैं और narrator से बदला लेने आए. क्यों? Probably he took their eggs when they were in the pond without asking them. So it's called the death of a naturalist, because not because the nature is dead, but because the nature lover in us is dead. We all were like this child when we were kids, but now that love, that connection, that communion with nature is dead. We have forgotten how to be connected with nature. So this poem is a wake-up call for all of us who call ourselves as nature lover, but can't see beauty in frog or cockroach or scorpion or snake or anything that is called ugly. Who says something is ugly? Shakespeare was right, and I end this video with this saying that beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. Beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. Beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. Beholder मतलब देखने वाला. खूबसूरती देखने वाले के आंखों में होती है, चीजों में नहीं. फ्रॉग फर्स्ट स्टैंजा में भी था, सेकंड स्टैंजा में भी था. वही डर्टी स्लाइम पहले भी था, वही डर्टी पॉन्ड सेकंड स्टैंजा में भी था. पहले नैरेटर को खूबसूरती दिखता था, स्मेल दिखता था. अब नैरेटर को ऑप्सिन थ्रेड दिखता है, अब उसमें वेंजेंस दिखता है. सो ब्यूटी was not in the frog. Beauty was in the child who could see beauty in the frog. But since he's grown up, he cannot see beauty in the frog anymore. Frogs were beautiful. Frogs will be beautiful. But there are times in life when we can see beauty in so many things. And then we grow up, we become educated, we become degree holders, and then we have a very restricted sense of beauty. So this poem is asking us to deconstruct our definition for beauty, to expand our definition of beauty. A bit by bit, a day will come when we all will find beauty, even in so-called ugliest of things, probably in frog. So with this, I end this video. Thank you for watching it.